This is April, a former professional fencer turned women's fitness coach. April first came to me when she was stuck in a business rut. Her business plateaued for 12 consecutive months straight, and as soon as she came to me, we implemented a clean sales strategy to increase her lifetime value of her customers, sign more clients directly from Instagram, and grow her following to get new leads every single day. The results? She got over 20,000 new followers in just 30 days, and over the 6 months we've been working together, she's now on track for a 7-figure year, selling just one high-ticket online course for petite women. If you want to learn how to overcome a plateau and implement what's working today on Instagram for your business, it would be a mistake to not watch this entire video. Let's dive in. April, welcome to the show. I am so honored to have you here because not only have you helped me so much with my fitness journey, but it's been such an amazing experience to watch you completely upgrade your business. So before we dive into the juicy details of your massive success over the past few months, tell the listeners who you are and about your incredible niche and all about the amazing women you get to help every day.
Thanks, Julia, for having me. I'm so excited for this conversation. So I'm the founder of Petite Power. I help petite women 5'4" and shorter lose weight and gain muscle through our premium coaching experience. We have registered dietitians and personal trainers on our team. And my mission is to help every petite woman feel powerful in her body. And we started this company in 2017. So it's been about 7 years now.
Wow. And when I first discovered you on Instagram, I thought your niche was so fantastic. I'd love to know more about how did you come up with I just want to help petite women?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is that I am obviously petite, obviously, as are you. So I was really solving for a problem and a personal story or a personal journey, which is why the business started as a personal brand. It still is a personal brand today. So it came from that initial struggle of just feeling like it was harder for me to lose weight than my taller friends. And when I started to look into the science and speak with doctors, it had a lot of scientific merit to it. And I started to study it and then talk about it. And then I got online and started talking about it. And the niche grew from there. At the time when I never thought I'd be a business owner. So I was not even looking to start a business, but I started asking people for business advice. And I was told, never start a business if you Google a niche and there's no search results that come back
Wow.
there's nothing on the internet. And when I searched petite fitness, there was nothing. So I was like, uh-oh, I don't think this is going to be a good business idea. But I was like, you know what? I'm so glad I did not listen to that advice, because I was like, you know what, if I'm struggling with it and I know how to solve for it now, there has to be other people like me out there. And as it turns out, half of American women are 5'4" and shorter. So the TAM, the market, is massive, and there is a huge opportunity for it. So sometimes you can't just listen to generic business advice. Going even more niche than you think is possible could be really advantageous.
That's so powerful because a lot of our clients will come to us and be like, is this a good idea? Is this going to work? And we typically say to them hey, does this niche exist? And I think it's really interesting because when you started, it probably wasn't as hyper niche, the marketplace, as it is now. What year did you start?
In 2018 is when I launched a Kickstarter for an ebook. I wrote a book and just wanted to see what the reception would be like. So that was the year that I got sort of validation around the business concept and went all in on it.
Wow. And thinking about timing too, I've been really interested in this phrase, time in the market is better than timing the market. And I think that's what you do so well. So if we're going to fast forward from 2018 to where you are now, and when we started working together in January, we're now recording this in July. Well, maybe it was February, but where were you at the beginning of this year, 2024? Walk us through your business journey starting the year this year.
Yeah. So I think if you've ever heard of the 7-year itch in relationships, I think it applies to everything. I was definitely having the 7-year business itch of I think for personal reasons, because when you are a solo founder, I don't have a co-founder, the growth of your business is directly correlated to your personal growth for a while, until you have a team, until you have systems in place and there's other people helping to carry the shared goal of a revenue goal or whatever. So if you are personally in a kind of a sticky era, your business is going to reflect that, whether you like it or not. And so I had just moved from New York City to Austin, and I was investing so much time into my community here and rebuilding after spending my whole life in New York City. And as a result, my business kind of took the back burner. I sort of just started focusing on building my life up again. And after a couple of years doing this, I kind of started to play it small in my business. I started thinking, oh, maybe this isn't what I should be doing, or maybe I'm not doing it the right way. The self-doubt and the mindset really deteriorated, while other areas of my life I started focusing on those. So when we started working together, I was very much just wondering, like, I was playing it small. I was kind of in this place of, well, I used to do things a certain way and it worked, and now I don't feel inspired by those same things. I'm in a rut. I don't know what I want to do anymore. I don't know if I can do it. Like a lot of those like negative self-talk. But I knew I wasn't going to go out easy. So I was in this place where I was like, maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I have to like get re-inspired. And I kind of found you in that really important inflection point.
Wow. And when you were feeling that itch, what do you think was the catalyst to be like, yes, let's work together?
Ooh, I think it was that following you, I felt, because we didn't know each other that well yet. We hadn't really
Mhm.
like, we had talked a few times, but I felt like you had a very magnetic draw on your page, and I don't know, it was something in the stars maybe. I just felt drawn to it. I didn't know what you offered. I didn't know price points. I was just like, I don't care. I just want to know what you're doing right now. And that day, I remember I just woke up that morning. It was like, I think it was the New Year. And I was like, I think I should just text Julia and see what's up. I'm just feeling pulled to do that. And so, yeah, it's really the way that you position yourself. It felt really magnetizing, and your messaging spoke to me. And I liked I love that you had that background in mindset, because that's really important to me
Mhm.
as a former athlete. So I was like, I know that I could learn something from you. And I think we would have a lot of overlap in how we view things. You could help me get through this block.
Totally. And what I think is super interesting is when you first came, it was like, oh, what do I have to do? Like the strategy, what's the best strategy, right? Because you had been doing webinars, live webinars for 7 years. And I remember when I was talking to you, I was like, you do one every single month for 7 years. And this was your strategy. And I think the first step in our work together was really just thinking about like, where do you want to take this thing? And it was a huge breakthrough, like for me, coaching you around you get to move the goalpost, as you always say, right? In fitness journeys, like you have to move the goalpost. And it's like when you first came in the beginning of the year, it was feeling really comfortable. It's like, I've been doing this for 7 years, I've helped thousands of people. And it's like, you have to remotivate yourself a little bit and find something new that is going to attract you to like keep working and keep doing the thing. So, what do you think was that motivation for you to be like, yeah, I actually want to grow this thing? I don't want to just like stay complacent and stay the same.
I think I wanted to know fundamentally what was possible. I felt like I hit a ceiling, and I know this feeling from reaching previous ceilings in my athletic career when I ran for the Olympics. I knew I can sense when I'm at a ceiling, and I'm very curious about like, is this it? Is this it? Like, we've done all the things, we've built a team, we've served thousands of people, but I'm still not where I want to be. I have a vision still. I'm still obviously not where I want to be, but I have this vision for the movement of the business that's not, it goes beyond money. It goes beyond, um, kind of superficial things of business. And it's more about the journey. It's more about the impact over time, the longevity, the experience for our customers. And I think I just thought, what more can I do? Like, can I see how far I can go with this? Because this can't be it. Like, it can't just be webinars every month. There's got to be a way to make a bigger impact, to also live a lifestyle that's more flexible for me, because it was really tied to the live launch model, which I'm happy to do to serve my customers, but it won't last forever. I can't do it every
Mm-hmm.
month for the rest of my life. So I think I was like, I saw this problem in front of me, and I knew if I don't figure out a way to keep the business going and deliver the highest experience for customers, the best results, but also protect my own time and sanity, the business is eventually going to fail. Like, if we're not growing, we're dying. And I was in that
Mm-hmm.
point where I was like, oh my God, we're not growing anymore. We're maintaining. And that means we're dying, because if you don't
Yeah.
grow, inflation, all these things. Like you have to be growing as a startup or you will eventually just go out of business.
Totally. And let's look at the span, right, of over 6 months. So, like, we've worked together for 6 months, and it was really like at that 3, 4 month mark where things like exploded for you, like
Mm-hmm.
15,000 new followers, new heights in your revenue, your cash collected. Walk us through what that change was, because I feel like what happened was like those first 3 months, we were kind of like pushing past that glass ceiling, that upper limit. And then it kind of just like all clicked. And I remember texting you like a couple of weeks ago, like, holy shit, April, your account is blowing up. Like the content got an upgrade, the messaging got an upgrade, the kind of clients you were attracting. What do you think was the spark?
I think I needed to shed all these old beliefs I had about I can't do this because I had so many of those built up. Like I had 7 years worth of validating one way to run the business. And so I really had to be a beginner again. I had to go back to like, I'm not 7 years into a business. I'm year one into the next phase of the business, which required a whole new version of me, a whole new set of beliefs. And that like takes time. Like I think you probably said the same shit to me for like week over week. And you stuck around and kept saying it to me. And it just I remember one exercise we did. I wrote down all these beliefs I had and then wrote them in a more empowering way. Like I reframed a lot of my belief statements. One of them was like, I'm burnt out and exhausted. How can I keep going? Something like that. And I reframed it to like, I have, limitless energy. Just kind of turning the like table around and being like, I'm actually going to just create a new energy and bring a new spirit to this and the belief that maybe it can be different, just like letting a
Mm.
crack in for the light. um and I don't really think like, yes, we've changed a lot of strategic things, but I don't really think that's been the biggest impact. I think it's been showing up differently online. Like my energy and what I'm bringing, my content is pretty much the same. It's just a new energy. It's a new spirit and a new excitement. And I think your audience can totally feel that. They can feel what you're bringing to it if you believe in it, if you're authentic, if you're excited. And you helped me crack that sort of old shell, like shed it off or skin and kind of step into um, this new persona, I guess.
So powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I was just thinking about when you first joined, you joined and you got in the CCA group. You messaged me like the morning after, and you're like, Julia, I've paid over $10,000 for coaching programs. You are undercharging. And I was like,
Oh my
April, tell me
God.
more. So I want to
Yes.
just hear more about your experience. Like when you first saw the program, what was it for you? Like, what made you say that? What did you like about it? Maybe someone is listening, they're maybe considering working with us. Tell us from your own words.
Being someone who didn't go to school for business, I studied the sciences. I had to invest so much in my education over the last 7 years to be able to run the business at the level I do now. And so I've done, like really expensive masterminds. I've flown, I've done business conferences, I've done every online course you could possibly imagine. I'm probably taking it. And so when I have expectations also set up, right? We've been burned by like old coaches, whatever. And so like when you enter any new online course, you're going in kind of like, I don't know what it's gonna be like. Yours was like literally the best one I have seen. It's so packed with value and information. And yeah, immediately I was like, I've dropped 5, 6, 7 times the amount of money on things that didn't have even like 10% of the content that's in yours. And it's not just the content for me. It was like you get in, there's like accountability, there's support, there's clearly a community like talking every day, sharing insights, a calendar of events. And then the content itself, the way that you organize information, you're a really good teacher. That's not true for like all business owners, but you're just really good at breaking things down. The way that you like teach with text and it's simple. It's like every line is like broken out, there's space, there's time to digest. It just was very well put together and I was like so blown away by it. So yeah, I was immediately like, this is how much, like what are we doing here? Like do people know this?
Thank you so much, April. I want to get into like the nitty gritty. What tactical changes did you make in your business that shifted from that like burnt out feeling to like, wow, we're on top of the world, hitting record breaking months, pushing past a plateau of 5 years? Like, walk us through the tactical changes that we made.
The biggest one, the problem that we set out to solve, and I think the constraint we immediately identified was the webinar model is successful, but to a point. I had reached a ceiling. I've gone as high as I can with that model, and we started to solve for that. And I think I used to really be self reliant. Like I had this feeling like if I couldn't do it, if I didn't do a lot of the work myself, the business, no one else was going to do it. But honestly, it's just not true. We were able to put a team in place, a sales team, train them really well, get really smart people, get people who believe in the mission, vision, values at Petite Power, and help me create a sales experience and a sales team to switch from the live launch model to a more evergreen approach where we can get new clients and customers in and get them started working with us sooner. And so it was really interesting because this one tactic, which was solving for honestly me and the business being the constraint, having to spend my time and energy, it actually made a better experience for everyone overall, for the customer, especially now that they can just start and they don't have to wait for a certain start date. They can just start when they are ready to get results and sign up and have an amazing experience. So I think setting up a sales team, getting more help with building client relationships, and I also leveled up my own sales skills again, which I mostly had the one-to-many model where I could just sell to a large group, but getting back to that personal touch, so speaking to people one-on-one, taking the sales call approach, which we have always done, but we didn't do it month round. So it was really building out like those systems around an evergreen sales model to help support the business in a more predictable, consistent way.
That's what I felt it was too. Like that was the main constraint where it's like the business doesn't make money unless I show up for these webinars. And when you first came to me, we realized like that's a big risk because a lot of people listening to this or maybe considering joining one of our programs, they're a founder, but they're also the coach and then they're the face. And we kind of feel this pressure as a personal brand where it's like, I have to be in the content. I have to be on the webinar. I have to be the coach. I have to make the course. So it's like so many things. And it almost like puts this pressure on us, right? And I know for me as a business owner, I remember my first big live launch was in April of 2022, and it totally flopped. Like I had 2,000 people signed up for a webinar and one person bought. Like, and then the person that bought ghosted me. They never even responded to any of the like onboarding emails. So it was like a whole thing. And it was from that moment that I set out to build an evergreen business because I was like, this feels like shit. And I never want to feel like this again. So, like, for someone like you, it's a little bit different because you're like, oh, this is working, but it's emotionally taxing. It's draining to just keep having to rely the business on this for the income. And then for the other side of the coin, it's the people who have maybe like a fear around launching, or they're like, what if no one buys? Right? Because, like, as business owners, you have no idea what's going to happen in a launch. Like, there's no way to predict it. Yeah, you can go back in time and look at the data, but do you really know? Not really. And that's when I really set out to build this evergreen model that now it's so funny because like the marketing that we have for CCA is like, we want to plug this evergreen system into your business. And I think what's so cool is like when I get that objection of, oh, but I'm not a business coach, or like I don't help people make money. I love doing these interviews because I'm like, it's actually the super niche creators that succeed with the really awesome niches. And I actually remember you saying that to me like a couple months ago. It's pretty recent. You were like, oh, I thought I was like a diamond in the rough. I didn't know you help, super niche people.
Yeah, I think that what's really different about you is you work with all sorts of coaches and in different service industries, but they all have really interesting like niche creator angles. And that really, when you said that, I was like, oh my God, that's the future. That's just getting as niche as possible because you don't have competition if you're serving that specific of a person, to be honest.
Yeah. I love it. So, I guess my final question to you would be if someone was maybe like on the fence of joining one of our programs, what would you say to them?
I would ask them probably to look at their mindset and their fears. A lot of times, I got this from my friend Robin the other day. I was on her podcast. She said, when you speak in what ifs, if you remove the what if and you just listen to the statement after that, that's usually the fear you have. So it's like, what if I don't make my money back? The fear is I don't make my money back. So it's like look at those fears that you have and ask yourself if you're going to be living your life by them or actually going to make a change and start to um, break through those limiting beliefs. I think a lot of it is just mindset work, and it is scary to run a business. Like at some point, you're going to have to go all in on yourself and decide, I'm just going to go for it. And honestly, it is truly the belief in a thing that makes you successful. You can be successful doing any of these methods, like webinar, Evergreen, whatever. They all work, but you need to like really be invested into one of them and prove to yourself that you're just going to go try, and that's going to make it happen. So I think just like getting over those beliefs that we have about things and leaning in is like the best thing that you can do for your business.
I love it. Thank you so much, April. I appreciate you coming on. And where can people find you? They want to join Petite Power, they want to join Premium, the community.
Yeah, they can find me at petitepower.com or on Instagram, April V. Whitney, and also YouTube, April V. Whitney as well. And thank you so much for having me, Julia.
Thanks, April.